It's part of life for thousands of people living in Ireland. For most parents, separation means facing into a stressful time that stirs up strong feelings like sadness, hurt, anger, worry and confusion. What makes it even tougher is needing to make really important and difficult decisions affecting you and your children. Understandably, many parents find it hard to agree on key issues like parenting arrangements. Of course, every relationship is different, so parents go about making these decisions in different ways. Some work things out between themselves. Some look for outside support and advice, like mediation or legal advice. Other parents apply to the courts, either to formalise what they've already agreed or because they're finding it very difficult to reach agreement.
This film offers basic information about some of the options available to parents when they are separating or have separated. As everyone's circumstances are different, it's important that parents consider what route is best suited to their situation and in the best interests of their children. As you know, following separation, parents and their children have rights and entitlements. Organisations like Citizens Information can give you information on rights, entitlements and other issues that arise following separation. You might also like to get legal advice. You should consider asking a solicitor for advice on the legal aspects of your case and options for reaching agreement with your partner, either with each other directly or through mediation. If you feel you need to apply to the court to resolve matters, you can ask a solicitor to represent you in court. If you can't afford legal advice and representation, you can apply for these services from the Legal Aid Board. There are also free legal advice centres that provide basic legal information. The time before, during and after separation can be a challenging time to be a parent. There are special parenting courses in some parts of the country which offer support and advice. There are also professional counselling services and support groups for parents.
For many people, family mediation may be a positive step to take. Parents can try to reach agreement through mediation instead of going to court. Parents can also try mediation even if they're already involved in or have gone through court proceedings. The mediator's role is to support parents to work together to try and agree on important issues such as a parenting plan. Where parents reach agreement through mediation, they can ask a court to make formal court orders about what they've agreed. Mediators are independent. They don't take sides and they don't make decisions for parents. It's a confidential service and usually involves a few sessions. Mediation services from the Family Mediation Service are free and available in certain parts of the country. There are waiting lists, so if you're interested, do apply as soon as you can. There are also some community mediation services in the country, available at no or low cost. In addition, there are independent, private family mediators who help families find solutions. If you're thinking of using a mediator, it's important to ask about their experience and the qualifications they have. Family law issues dealt with by the district courts include guardianship, custody, access, maintenance, domestic violence and child protection. Although every situation is different, it's generally a good idea to think of court as a last resort and to try other routes like mediation first to help reach agreement. The reality of court can be different to what people sometimes expect. If you're thinking about applying to the district court and you've never been to court before, here are some basic facts that might help you. First, if you're applying to the court, you'll need to complete legal papers and follow certain procedures. For many people, going to court can be nerve-wracking. Everything about the court may be unfamiliar, and of course, people are often worried about how things will go, so the atmosphere can be tense. Apart from you and your solicitors, if you have them, there'll be a few people in the courtroom. The judge sits at the top of the courtroom. The judge's role is to make decisions, and the judge needs to make decisions based above all on what's in the best interests of the children. If you decide to enter into the court process, you need to keep in mind that you'll have to keep to the order the judge makes. In front of the judge is the registrar or court clerk who assists the judge. Beside the registrar is the witness box. This is where you'd sit when you're giving evidence. A law passed in July 2013 means that certain journalists may also be in the court. The judge can decide to exclude journalists, or parents can ask the judge to do so. Where journalists are allowed to attend, there are rules on what they can report. They can't give out any information that would identify a family.
You can represent yourself in court. This can be hard for people to do if they're not familiar with the law and when the issues are personal to them. However, if you're thinking about doing this instead of asking a solicitor to represent you, it's important to bear in mind that people have to follow certain legal rules in court. One reason for this is to ensure that everyone has a fair chance to have their say. The court will expect you to understand the legal aspects of your case, to have prepared well, and to bring any relevant paperwork to court so you can show, through evidence, what you feel you're entitled to. You can check in advance what you need to bring. In family law cases affecting children, children have a right to have their say. Special arrangements can be made so children can share their thoughts in a way that works well for them. Sometimes a judge may meet with a child. The court must take children's views into account. Whatever route you take, and despite your best efforts, your children can be deeply affected by your separation. They can experience feelings of loss, hurt, anger, and anxiety. They probably have lots of questions. They may have concerns about their relationships with both parents into the future, or about how parts of their lives might be affected. Some children can worry that they're responsible for what's happened, or that they'll be asked to take sides. They'll have their own thoughts about what they do and don't want to happen. But they might be unsure or afraid to talk about what's on their minds. It's generally good for parents to let their children know what's happening. There are services that work with children and families in these circumstances who can offer advice on how best to talk with your children and how much to share. It's also important to hear what children's concerns and preferences are. Some children will be comfortable talking directly with their parents. Some might prefer to write down what's on their mind and give it to both parents to read. Others may find it easier to talk to their parents with the help of a trusted adult, like a close relative or neighbour. As it's vital children talk about how they're feeling, remember that there are support groups and counselling services, especially for children and teenagers. Finally, if you're considering family mediation or court, your children could really welcome the chance to have their views taken into account. Your family mediator or solicitor can explain the options around this.
It's not always easy figuring out what route to reaching agreement will work best, whether it's court, mediation, or something else. Don't hesitate to get help. There are services that can give you information, advice, and support with making the best choices for you and especially for your children.